Life has a way of filling up quick, doesn't it? Sometimes it's hard to find that time to mow the grass. For instance, my yard has some grass that is 6 to 8 inches tall already. It is way past time to mow. So today I'm introducing or trying out the EcoVacs GOAT A3000. This is a robot lawnmower that will be able to hopefully mow my grass for me without me having to be out here mowing it manually. So I want to open up this box and basically do a first time user experience from getting the product all the way to the end. The components shipped with this unit are the GOAT A3000 mower itself. It has a quick start guide and a user manual. It also has the charging dock station. Comes in 2 different pieces. You've got the base, which can be locked down into the dirt with these little spikes. And then also the electronics part of this, which has little clips that will connect to the front up here to charge this mower. And then it has the AC to DC power brick, and then lastly a little baggie of hardware. So let's go ahead and assemble the charging station quickly and then go over the features of the mower. Assembling the base plate couldn't be any more simple. You simply just take this top piece, line it up to the plastic down below, and click it in, and that is done. Let's take a tour around the GOAT A3000 here, starting with this side right here. So first of all, you've got your EcoVacs GOAT A3000 with lidar here on the side. If you look down here, it's got true edge, which means it can trim all the way up to the edge here. The wheels on the back are studded, and they've got rubber tread on them to really dig into your soil. If you move over here to the back, it's got a handle, which makes it convenient for carrying. It's got the information there on warnings, and as you can see, there's a good bit of clearance under there currently. This side over here just says it's got the dual blade disc system. There's an app scan right here, which will make this handy for installation here in just a moment. Now moving up here to the top, here is the lidar. It's the LELS Pro, and it's got a little cover that you can use when not in use. But that right there is going to be very important for seeing your yard system and being able to map out what it needs to map. It's got some vents here for air input. There is a display with some buttons, a giant stop button. You can press that to stop the unit at any time. Right here on the front, this is where it will connect to the charger. These big metal brackets here and here. On the front, you've got your AIVI 3D scanning system, and that's going to be able to see obstacles in the yard and prevent it from running over things. Now let's go ahead and flip this up here so we can see what's happening underneath. It has these wheels on the front that spin in all directions. Has a heat sink there to dissipate some heat. And then here are the blades. As you can see, they're like razor blades put on discs. So that's where the cutting is going to occur. Now this can cut anywhere from 1.2 inches up to 3.6 inch. And in my yard, I have taller grass, so I will probably be going with the taller setting. To get started with the installation, I have downloaded the app from EcoVacs, and now I'm going to scan to connect by pressing this here. I'm going to find that barcode. Now I'm going to press and hold the power button. Let's set a pin code on the robot.
Entering do not disturb mode. Now docking.
Let's type in 1001.
Now setting up the network.
Okay, I've pressed the network button. Now when you get to the point where the app asks for special permissions, it doesn't tell you what to turn on, and the user manual doesn't say either. So I had to contact technical support and figure out what to change to get this mower to work. If you don't change this specific setting, then it never finds your Wi-Fi network and you're unable to connect. So let me show you what you have to change real quick in order to get this to connect. Once you get to the screen that asks for allow EcoVacs Home the following permissions, it doesn't tell you what permissions to use. So go ahead and open up your settings. you go into the permissions. You've got to go to the location tab, and down here it says use precise location. That has got to be turned on before this will find your network or the Wi-Fi. So once that's been turned on, you can click back and then go back to the app. As you can see, Bluetooth is connected. It has now noticed that my Wi-Fi router is available. I've typed in my password. Let's go ahead and press next, and this should connect to the mower. There we go. Connected to the home Wi-Fi. It is now connected to the server, and it is ready to name the mower. Here we go, lawn mower. I have the charging brick set here, and it is plugged up. I'm going to connect the charging base so that it has power. And for now, I'm just going to set the mower in here so it can begin charging. The two metal points here at the top are what's going to connect with the charger and allow this thing to charge up.
Start charging.
All right, we're currently at 59%. The battery light is blinking, and that means it is charging. After I had connected the app to the mower, I did some updates and it was ready to go. Now when it comes to mapping out your yard, you can do it in two different ways. There is a manual way, which is what I chose to do. You walk behind the mower and you have the app so you can map out the yard. But my yard is kind of odd shaped and it's got some weird obstacles to avoid. However, you can use the automated mapping, so you just tell it to go and it will find the edge of your yard. I feel like this would work very well if you've got a fence or landscaping that would have a solid boundary. In my yard, it was kind of just open gravel and woods, so I didn't want it to struggle too much on that. So mapping out the area of your yard was actually quite simple. The app has a joystick which allows you to follow behind the mower and map out the entire perimeter. Once it was done, I pushed the OK to map that area, and the mower was ready. So it actually starts from the home position, which is in the charging docking station, and it finds the area that you have mapped out, and it begins mowing. Now this thing will mow in a pattern, so it kind of, in my yard, took a uphill, downhill direction. But one thing I noticed is that at the top of the hill or at the bottom of the hill, it would back up a couple of times to make sure it didn't leave any patches of grass at the turnaround of the mower. Now the GOAT A3000 is a 32 volt system and it has two rotating discs that each have 3 blades on it, and it can do 400 square meters per hour. The adjustable height is 3 to 9 centimeters, which is 1.2 to 3.5 inches. The yard that I was cutting was so thick that I used the taller setting to get that done. So it was actually able to detect some objects that I placed in the yard. So I placed a bucket in the way, and the mower went up the hill, found that bucket, and went around. What's really cool is at the end of the mowing session, it went back to the place where the bucket was and it mowed that spot. So it knew that it had missed a place in the yard. I believe we're just about to the end of the path here. I want to see if it will capture these missing bits that it has not made it to. Uh-oh. I think it hit a stick or something. Yep, there was the culprit. There's one last little strip here, which I believe it's about to complete right about there. And now let's see if it moves over and gets these missing pieces over here. Yep, it decided not to come back down the hill, and it is moving over to these last bits, I believe. Let's see if it starts going up and down right here. Hey, very cool, yep. Those are the spots that it was missing. Let's see if it turns around mid-hill, or if it goes all the way down. Yep, mid-hill, it's trying. It's a very steep hill. I suppose that means the last little strip along the bottom of our mowing area will be the last thing it tackles. I moved the bucket that I placed there earlier, and it has come back to re-mow where it had to go around. So that little patch that was missed has now been gotten. Taking a look at the app and the placement of the mower, it has reached this last little bit of green, and it's going to go pretty close to the gravel. This last little strip of grass that it is cutting seems to be a little more than the 3.5 inches maximum, and so it is struggling a little bit to cut that. For instance, I see a patch right there that it was unable to cut, but for the most part it is tackling this little V-shaped hill pretty good. Okay, yes, it did forget one little patch there at the end, so it's on its way back to get that, and then I believe it's going to self-dock and begin charging itself. Very cool. So this is over 2,700 square feet. So the GOAT A3000 can handle that on a single battery. Because the GOAT A3000 has tires with lots of tread on them, it was able to tackle my hill with no problems. Even my zero-turn mower struggles to go up this hill sometimes. The obstacle avoidance also worked as it was going back to the charging station, which was pretty fantastic. It charged up so fast that it easily could do 2 areas of the yard in one single day, and maybe even 3 if it started early enough. Now the cut pattern, I think, was consistent. It missed a little patch occasionally, but the grass had some old clippings on it, and it actually kind of stacked those up in a row, and that's where it missed a little bit. But to be honest, this mower cut very consistently, and the pattern, I think, was good for the yard. There are a few things that make this mower really fantastic. You can customize the mowing plan by setting up a schedule. You can cut multiple zones, and you can manage those zones to see which one you want to cut at what time and what day. The maps that you create for the zones can be customized or edited once they've been made. And the machine itself is able to accept all kinds of different hills and areas. When it comes to tackling different weather conditions, this can mow in great sunshine, in damp conditions, but also has rain sensors, so if it is raining, it will dock itself and then come back out whenever the rain stops. Now you can leave this out in the weather because it's designed to be charged and left outside so that it's ready whenever you tell it to go or if it's been scheduled. The GOAT A3000 is a mower that is able to tackle all kinds of different lawns, and I feel like is a great choice for those who are either too busy to mow, don't want to hire somebody out, or the elderly. I zoomed into the map and it looks like the mower is following the final path around the edge to make sure the last little bit of grass is covered. Now I am seeing on here as well that there are a few dark patches, and I'm not really sure what those are. So we'll see if it covers that here in just a bit. How awesome was that? The EcoVacs GOAT A3000 just took care of 2,700 square feet of my yard like it was nothing. And within just a few minutes on the charger, it's gone from 21% up to 63%. So this mower would be ready to go again, and I would say about 30 more minutes. Another section of the yard could be tackled. So it's pretty awesome. The avoidance system on this thing was also really impressive. Finding its way back to the home base, it took a path around that toy, and then I set that bucket out in the yard, and it came back to look for that patch of uncut grass after I had removed the bucket. So it's a very smart lawnmower. If you want to check out more information on the EcoVacs GOAT A3000, then I will have links to this in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Seth with Land to House, and I will see you in the next video.